So welcome to our August Town Hall. I am Teresa Thomas. I am the Associate Executive Director, and it is so glad to have all of you here this afternoon. I briefly want to share the agenda. So, of course, I will share some exciting news with you. I will also share an update from our Halloran survey. And I will talk about some rumors or myth busters that I can do. I really like that part. Following me, Judy Hanson will come and introduce the representative for Resident Council. Kim Butler will follow her with Uniguest updates. Bruce Stewart will come with our chaplain update. And then Marty Sadam will come and give us an update with Encore Learning. Lindsay Hutter and Kathy Miller will be back to talk about our new website. And then I will answer or try to answer or dodge your questions. You know I don't dodge. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. So first, I want to start with a mission moment. If any of you would like to share a mission moment, we take this time to do that because we want to acknowledge residents and team members who have gone over and beyond. They have just been out of their way to make us successful. Thank you.
Is this on?
It's on.
Okay. I just want to compliment once again the GHA chorus. They gave a magnificent chorus the other day, and I don't know if you all had a chance to hear it. And they did it without the professional people that they've been doing. They did it themselves. And it was wonderful, really wonderful. So I want to congratulate them again. It was just delightful.
This might have been said before, but it's worth saying again. The garage downstairs is a piece of art almost. It's bright, it's fresh, there's some colors. You feel good about leaving your car there. So compliments to Goodwin House to get a team that really did a good job for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to give a shout out to, come on, remember their names? Karen Thunberg and Alice Kale. For the last 2 years, they have planned all the trips and outings. And they wanted Goodwin Living for all three facilities to hire a person to do it professionally, to have a team member. That didn't happen, but Barbara said that Jen could do it, and we all say, can she do it? But that's what we're gonna be doing. So as of October 1st, I'm gonna be co-chairing with Judy Howard and giving all that stuff. So I just wanna thank Alice and Karen and have you join me thanking them for all the work they've done for the last 2 years.
Any other mission moments? Yes, Dan. Sure.
I have kind of a lifetime achievement mission moment. I don't know if you all are aware, but Miss Audrey Keith, who's in the bistro in the mornings and in the mixing bowl in the afternoons at lunch, she just achieved her 55th work anniversary here at Goodwin Alexandria on Sunday. That's 55 years of service to the residents and the team members here at Goodwin House Alexandria. That's basically her entire adult life devoted to Goodwin House. So I think that deserves, I don't even have the words for it. That's above and beyond. I've never worked anywhere where anybody had worked there that long, period. So we appreciate her. She's full of energy. She never misses work. She's always upbeat. And I could go on, but I won't. But if you see her, please congratulate her. Thank you.
We are so happy to have Miss Audrey with us. I'll just say it from the team member side. When we go down to the mixing bowl for lunch, Miss Audrey has a way of making sure that you get fed. You can say, I only want a little massage. Baby, where you going? Take a little bit more. So we really appreciate her and really her commitment to the organization and just for the smile that she gives us every time we encounter her. So we're glad to have her. I want to share some updates on new additions to our GHA family. We have not made them an offer to work yet because they're not legally able to, but we want to share them with you. So this is Russell. He is the son of Alex Freeman, our dietitian. So we're so happy to have Alex share her photos with us. Alex had to work from home today, and she sent us another picture with Russell beside her, but he was asleep. She said he's already sleeping on the job. So we were so glad this one. This is O'Shea Brown. He is the son of Iris Brown, who is our finance manager. Ayo Atusanya. This is Victor's daughter, and he is our resident technologist specialist. This is Patrick Scholar, Jackie's, Barbarito Scholar's son. She is our small house administrator. And 24 hours in, this is Zoe Peralta, the daughter of Lady Peralta and our salon manager. We are so happy to say that the babies and moms and dads are doing well and that we are waiting to get those applications out, Trish. We are always recruiting. So I want to give some updates on our Holleran survey. Our Holleran survey is the resident satisfaction survey. We did the survey back in February. The first review was shared with you in May. And in each of the areas that we'll discuss, the directors were given opportunities or to look at areas of opportunity where we could improve. And so each department director took your suggestions, went back, met with their teams, and put together a plan of action. It is pretty detailed. You may not be able to see every bit of information on these slides, but guess where you can find it? Uniguest. So what I will do is I will go over the areas with you. I will pause in between each department, so if you have questions, please make a note of them so that I can come back at the very end of town hall and address those questions, okay? So of course, we are going to start with dining services. And this was one of the questions or areas of opportunity. Sometimes there's excessive wait times in the bistro for dine-in orders. And so we wanted to look at the goal of reducing wait times acceptable to residents. One of the areas that we looked at was one-on-one training for servers on taking orders using the tablets. One of the areas that we looked at was how would we provide the training. And so in the course of doing that, there was Tajane Roberts, many of you know her. She was promoted to our service manager. And so Tajane has taken on the task of beginning the one-on-one training with servers beginning in August, on August 4th. This will, of course, be an ongoing goal. We will look at how we're improving, if we need to do anything else, and then we will adjust accordingly. This one was to address really the wait times, we talked about having established pickup times for those of you that order and would like to come down and pick up your meals. After hearing your feedback, the dining services team decided, based on your feedback, that this would not be implemented because many of you had times that did not fall within the parameters that we were looking at. So because we heard from you, the dining team decided that this was not a change that would meet the needs of the overall resident population. So this was dropped. So we will not be pursuing specific pickup times. Another one was to offer monthly special dinners or monthly themed dinners. And so the dining services team came back and looked at the success of the program and how it would be measured. On May 29th, we had a lobster night in the Fillmore. 25 residents attended that event. On July 17th, we did another themed night. It was a steakhouse night in the Fillmore, and 20 residents attended that event. We are scheduling future special themed nights, and you have an opportunity to help us increase the numbers. On tomorrow night, we will have a dining al fresco night. So please, if you're interested, please let Dan and Joaquin know if you would like to attend that. We will continue to do this monthly and again share with you when we do our next update on how this is working out, how the numbers have increased, have we met the goal. Breakfast. Residents stated that they would like more variety in the breakfast menus, so we wanted to introduce variations to the standard breakfast rotations. Breakfast sandwiches, a different variety, was added to the menus on Tuesday and Thursdays. This was done started on July 8th, and we will continue to do that. So we do consider this goal completed. Because we have added the different variations that you've asked us about. Again, that's on Tuesday and Thursday. And I know I'm going a little fast, but these slides will be available to you again on Unigus. Friend table. So this was a request made by residents that they needed a way to meet current residents in the dining venues. The goal was to establish a friendship table in the bistro at all meal times to enable single diners to dine with others. Again, this is feedback that we received during the Halloran survey from residents. So the friendship table was instituted, it started on August 15th, and we will continue to monitor the usage. It is available, it is a designated sign. As you go into the bistro, you will see that it is highlighted there. So we will continue to monitor if this is necessary, if we see people are using it, and then we will update you as we move forward. I think I skipped one. One of the recommendations was how we would consistently promote the friendship table. And so we have decided to put notices in the Gazette, Unigus, and the first article for the Gazette will be on August 22nd. Then again is signage as you enter the bistro. There is signage there stating that we have a friendship table. This again will be monitored monthly. Weekly menus offer more options as accompaniments to the weekly menus. Add a second vegetable. The second vegetable was added August 9th to the lunch menu. There is also a second vegetable available at night at request on the Always Available. So we have added that. We will again listen to your feedback. If it's not the second vegetable that is the majority, wanted by the majority, green peas, we will let you know. And again, we've met this goal of August 3rd, but again, your feedback to us, letting us know, would you like us to change that? Would you like us to look at another second vegetable? Please let us know. So I'm going to pause in case you have questions about anything that I've shared regarding dining services. If you want to jot down any questions that we can come back and answer. We will move on to environmental services, improve communication and service, ensure all resident needs are met and the cleaning services are consistent and excellent. So it starts with environmental service, and the reception desks are communicating more. One of the things that we noticed is that if you're out of town or you're going on vacation, you let the reception desk know, I don't need service, or I would like service on this particular day, but not the day I'm coming back. So that information was a little lost between the reception desk and environmental services. So they're working on checking the daily vacation list and notifications sent by the reception desk. We do get that information when you're out of town, so we're now making sure between environmental services and the reception desk, they're monitoring that. That started on May 8th, and it will be ongoing. So if you're seeing we're missing your notifications of when you do not want service or what dates you would like service when you return from vacation, please let us know. Better weekly cleaning in the apartments. So there is training that is provided to all of our housekeepers on what the goals are weekly, monthly, and annual cleaning. So Anna is training with her staff along with her team, and they will conduct inspections in resident apartments. So after your housekeeping has been completed, someone from the management side of environmental services typically will come in and conduct an inspection. Once that inspection is completed, they review the results with the housekeeper. And if additional training is needed, they will schedule that. This started on June 2nd, and of course it will be ongoing as we have different housekeepers. One of the goals that I know you mentioned was to have consistency. So if your regular housekeeper is out on vacation and there is a substitute housekeeper, you should be able to expect the same type of service when that substitute comes to your apartment. This is response to calls and making sure that we are returning calls timely. Sometimes most of us are out of our offices, but the expectation that we have set is that calls are returned within 24 hours. And most of you know at 9 o'clock I'll call you back because I'm on that 24-hour zone. We have to get back to you. So please let us know if you're not getting timely response. Anna started going over this with her team, her management team, on May 8th. Pause so that you can gather any questions you may have regarding the Environmental Services Action Plan. Yes, I'll take it now. I was going to wait to the end, but I'll take it.
Hi. I always go back to my apartment immediately after it's been cleaned, and no one has ever come to follow up, which, I mean, I don't feel that I need someone following up, but I was just curious because from what you said, it sounds like they're going to be coming up immediately or soon thereafter.
So one of the things that they will do, once your apartment is clean, it may not happen immediately after the housekeeper is there, but probably within that week they will come back. So they will look at the dusting. to see if it's been dusted. They will check the blinds. They may not be able to confirm that the bed was made because of the time span in between, but they will come in and check that. And I believe there is a notice that they leave once the inspection is completed. So,
Saw any notice left.
okay, Anna, can you follow up? Okay. Thank you for sharing that. We will definitely follow up to make sure that is happening. Great. Thank you. Facilities management. Do we have, we don't have any slides for improvement. You knew I was joking there. Make sure elevators work reliably. So we did share with you at another town hall that we had consulted with VDA, which is an elevator company, to help us to look at all of our elevators, the operation, age, and what we needed to do immediately. They did complete their report in July. And we met with Otis, shared with them some of the items that were listed, which a lot of them were maintenance items. They were not things that meant the elevator would fall apart tomorrow, but they're maintenance items that we need to make sure they're completing on a regular basis. And so we did meet with them. Otis is now completing those, and their projected completion date for all 12 elevators is October 30th. And part of that is because we do need to take elevators out of service for them to do their work. So we did not want multiple elevators out of service at the same time. We would much rather them take the items that were most critical, complete them in an elevator, put them back up. Some of the other ones were really just going in, cleaning out the cab, cleaning out the tracks underneath, and so things like that we have asked them to schedule. Andrew is following up on that. Improve humidity levels in each of the buildings in the community. So our facilities director, Andrew and Amadou, they are working with project management, which is John Cruz, and they are coordinating the humidification project with our BAS system, which is our building automation system. So we want to make sure any systems that we have are communicating across all buildings, and that's our building automation system. So they are working on that. The contract to upgrade the building automation system was awarded on August 6th. The project completion and testing date should be by October 30th. This will be ongoing because we know we have different buildings that require different pieces of this. For maintenance, it was a vigorous and clear response to maintenance requests. A lot of it had to do with training the team to make sure that when they respond to a request, they're updating the resident on the progress of their work order, that they're letting us know when there are different parts or repairs needed, and that we're following through with the residents, with the ordering of parts, and that we're constantly keeping that loop closed. Not just taking the work order, going back, telling Andrew, well, I need this part, but communicating with you, the resident, of where your work order is. Many of you can see the work orders, and sometimes you'll see it say completed, but it's not completed because we need to order parts. So just making sure that we are letting you know that we need to order parts, that's why the work order is open, and then just, again, doing some ongoing training with our team. They are meeting weekly. Well, there is a stand-up meeting for the facilities team. And I must say for all of our departments, every morning there is a stand-up meeting where they go through the events for the day, for the week, and get the information that's needed. So that is happening. The training will continue to be ongoing. improve water for consistent pressure and control. So water pressure, we have asked that residents notify the facilities team if you are having issues in your apartment, because it can be sporadic based on where you're located. Sometimes it's one complete tier in the tower, or it's one apartment on one floor. In the original building, it could be either the north wing. It varies. So we are asking you to keep the team updated, or Andrew or Amadou, on if you're having issues in your particular apartment. They have started repairs on those areas where we were notified. Parts were ordered, and they expect to complete some installation that they need in later on this month. There is, in the capital budget for '26, Andrew has put in some water to renovate our hot water systems throughout the buildings. So that is included in our, well, thank you. Andrew should take a bow. I will say this, Andrew has come on board and really grabbed this and started running with it. He has been meeting with contractors, going building by building to find out what the issues are and addressing them. So I'm glad that you know that we're working on that. So I will pause so that if you have questions for facilities, you can jot those down so that we can answer them. We're going to move on to assisted living. So assisted living, one of the requests was to hold a formal care plan meeting when a resident experiences a change in medical condition. So back in May, on May 1st, the assisted living team began offering formal care plans to residents experiencing a change in medical condition that would result in a change in level of care. So if they were in assisted living, there was a change in medical condition that may prompt them to the small house. There was a formal care plan put together with that person. October 1st, Christine updated that she reported on the percentage of residents who moved to a higher level of care had been offered a formal care plan in the month leading up to their move. No AL residents have moved to the small house because a non-emergent situation would have allowed for an advanced care plan. Again, we will continue to monitor this and formally offer those care plans as we see people needing to move in a different level of care. This is one goal that was completed for assisted living: increase entree options from 2 to 3. This has been completed. There's a third entree offered nightly to the assisted living residents. And that was achieved on April 1st. This was also completed, increased the variety of snack options. So they now have Lorna Doones, there's chocolate chips, there's a bunch of different snack options that are always out and available to residents in assisted living. And this was completed in June, and it was completed with input from the residents on assisted living. They actually gave us a list of the things they liked the most. We're going to move over to the small house. Increase activity awareness for small house residents, IL residents, and family members of residents, and increase activity attendance and schedule program quality. So the question came up to form an interdisciplinary team, which would consist of life enrichment, chaplaincy, social work, nursing, small house residents, and family members. And it was to look at how we can increase resident engagement of those in the small house. This was led by Ted, which is the Small House Recreation Coordinator, along with Jackie and the care partners. So this is what we found: documented incidents of resident leisure engagement, how we engage the residents day to day. Before implementing the team, there were approximately 123 instances in a week of leisure engagement, going to a resident room, getting them out, bringing them and having one-on-one, reading the newspaper, playing games with them. There were different things that were happening. After the hollering, and we put together the action plan, within 1 week, we saw 158 instances of resident engagement. And then we looked at how can we even increase that number more by having care partners lead activities. And with that, for 1 week, we saw 777 instances. So we can see that that is working by having an interdisciplinary team look at how we can provide services to our residents in the small house. Adding care partner-led activity with training in early June. If you go over to the small house elevators, you'll see that we're doing a care partner spotlight. And what it does is it gives you information on the care partner, and it tells you about the activities that they are doing with residents to have engagement. Adjusting the activities documentation. So there are a lot of things that happen within the small house, within care partner interactions that we were not documenting. So if a care partner is doing puzzles with a resident, we may not have documented that. But it's a leisure activity that gets them engaged. So we wanted to look at how we can capture that information, share that information with family, with you, and then look at the total picture of resident engagement. And so we started doing that, and a care partner-led activity began the week of June 9th, and it's being weekly audited, and there are reminders by the administration, by Life Enrichment, and we'll continue to review the progress. But we can see that the numbers are increasing. Communication. So we wanted to look at how we communicate with family members and with residents on what is going on in the small house, the activities that you may not know about. So monthly, there is a what we call a small house update that is sent out to all family members or POAs, giving them a glimpse at the activity calendar, sharing with them the photos that you may see at the elevator of the care partner engagement so that they are aware, and also inviting them to come and to view the activities with us. So that is happening, and that will be ongoing. Looking at the number of volunteers, thank you to all of you who volunteer to help us get residents from the small house to activities, and then looking at the number of one-on-one visits by residents and team members. And then each den is set up with activities, which I'll talk about here. It's making sure that all of our small house dens are set up and welcoming, so they have activities there. There are puzzles out, there's mahjong out, so all of the activities are there so that they can be engaged. Volunteers, recruiting volunteers to engage more with small house residents or assisted or led groups. So Ted is working with HeriLink. I think you have heard us talk about the engagement or the partnership that we now have with HeriLink, which is a volunteer service program. It uses high school students and they will be able to come out and work with us one-on-one on engaging residents, because we do have residents in the small house that do not wish to leave their room or they're unable to. So we want to make sure that we're giving them the opportunity for the leisure engagement as well. So HeroLink will help us put together a schedule there. We've also reached out to Senior Services of Alexandria because they have a friendly visitors program where someone will come out and engage with our residents. So this will be ongoing. We've looked at November 1st to make sure that this plan is in place and that it's working, because most of our students through HeroLink are just starting back. We talked a little bit about the activity space, refurbishing the dens to make them more welcoming, adding furniture. We have budgeted for that in the 2026 budget. And then in the current dens, we have made sure that games, puzzles, and craft supplies are visible and accessible in den areas. And we have seen, since that has been out, that we're having more and more people use the den area, including many of you who come over to play Mahjong with the residents or do puzzles. And the last one, I believe, was the call bells, response to call bell time. So we do monitor that daily to see if there's a call bell, what time that call bell comes in, and what the response time is from our nurses or care partners. Daily reports are reviewed for long response time with the appropriate action taken. So we do, if there is a response time then that is longer than expected, we do meet with the team members to get an answer to why that took so long. It is a part of our quality improvement plan, so we monitor that throughout there. 90% of our daily response times are answered within 5 minutes. That is 90%. So when we're constantly looking, if there's something that's 10 to 12 minutes, we want to know why. And again, this is on our response time. And again, there is, I know Jackie and the team, they do random samplings of the daily response time. So it's not just one floor they're looking at or one house. They're taking random samplings throughout the small house to see where we're having issues or to see the consistency of response. Menu, variety of menu selections. So add a second entree to dinner. That was completed. Dietitian will continue to monitor satisfaction of food variety with the residents quarterly and annual assessments. 20 residents have answered. There was an assessment done, 20 residents answered, 7 were unable to respond, and only 1 was not satisfied. The 12 remaining residents replied that they were satisfied. When there is a family council meeting or a resident council meeting in this small house, this question is asked: are you satisfied with your meals? And we take that information back. We will provide another update in October on where we are with the action plans. This was a lot to take in. So what I would suggest to you is, as you go back to your apartments, please go on Uniguest, look at each slide. If you have questions or comments, please send them to us so that we can get back to you. So fun, rumors. Any rumors out there I need to bust up? Yes.
This is more of a mood-altering question, Teresa, but it seems really important to this group to know how it is you came to know so much about the snacks available in assisted living.
Well, I will tell you that. So every day at 11 o'clock, Kathy and her team do rounds throughout every house. So as I'm walking through, I happen to check the snacks. I wasn't assigned that job, but I welcome it. And so I can see that there are different snacks out. And sometimes, all of us do this. We may go up to a floor and have lunch or breakfast with them. And so we are constantly observing if what we're saying we're doing is happening. And they never know where I'm going to be at. Richmond has great snacks too, just so you know. Any other question that I can answer right now? Yes.
When the new garage door goes in, will the speed bump be taken out? When the new garage door goes in, will the speed bump be taken out?
When the new garage door goes in, will the speed bump be taken out? I want to say no, and I will tell you why. Because of where the station is for cleaning your car or air pump for tires, we want to make sure that as you're coming in, you're slowing down. And I think with the mirrors and the speed bump, we have seen a decrease in people zooming through there. It's not necessarily a full blind area, but it is an area that we are a little concerned about. And that was the only location that we could find for that particular area.
Concerning the
Can it
speed
be?
bump, I think it would be a good idea to have a warning sign outside the garage door so that people are prepared, especially new residents who might not expect a speed bump there.
Yes, I think that is in the works. That was a comment that we heard earlier, so I believe that is in the works, that there is a notice there saying you're approaching a speed bump.
Teresa, can
Yes.
it be lowered?
I don't know that. I will defer to Andrew and John, and we can get back to you on that. I don't have an answer for that.
Teresa, on the speed bump, there are different styles of speed bumps. Couldn't they get one that's not quite so aggressive? And just smooth it out a little bit, or get a different style. I mean, if you drive around Arlington County, for example, there are 3 different styles of speed bumps in use there. And I also had a question about what you said about housekeeping. You said that they're training people in weekly, monthly, and annual cleanings. I've only experienced weekly cleanings here. I'm
So-
not sure what the other 2 are alluding to.
There are certain things that housekeepers do weekly, and then there are some things on their list that they must do monthly. So Anna can send that out to everyone, because that is a list that comes out. I am going to take one more, and then we're going to go to Judy, or 2 more. Hi.
Are you taking questions and comments now about the survey, or should we wait?
Let's wait for the survey questions, because I'm sure that we'll be able to get through all of the other parts, and then I can come back to the survey. Our team members will be here to help out with that as well. Hi.
Okay, on the garage, one of the signs is incorrectly pointed for the exit. As you come into the garage, you make a right, and you have a choice of the middle aisle or the far back aisle to turn left, and then you'll make another left if you want to head on into middle parking. Well, if you turn in the middle aisle, it says exit straight ahead. Well, if you want to run into, the cars of your neighbors, good idea, but the sign needs to be left, and I did provide pictures
Okay.
of said exit sign. It really should be changed.
Okay, thank you. Andrew, you have that? Thank you. And I'll take this last one, and then Judy, I'll turn it over to you.
This concerns the staffing at night in the small house.
Mm-hmm.
Do we still just have one care partner at night?
I believe there are 2, Kathy? There's 1 care partner and one. One care partner per house, so that would be, if you're on the 2nd floor, 1 in each house, and then there is a nurse available.
But what if the care partner is seriously engaged with a problem with one resident, and she cannot answer the call.
They do carry phones where they can get the nurse supervisor to come and assist.
Good, because I knew that was a problem, that sometimes the one caregiver wasn't able to respond to a call from another resident because she was involved and couldn't leave the crisis that she was dealing with.
Yes, they do have phones where they can call the nurse for assistance.
Good.
Judy, I'm going to turn it over to you, and after Judy, Kim is coming for a unit guest.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Resident Council, I'm pleased to introduce you to Fred Pang. Fred is chair of the Spiritual Life Committee, which is actually a standing committee of the Residents Council, and many of you may not know a great deal about it, so I'm hoping that Fred will tell you a little bit of interest. Fred?
Thank you, Judy. I'm going to give you a thumbnail sketch of our Spiritual Life Committee. It's one of the standing committees of our Residents Council. The members of our committee, including myself, are Ruth Corlett, Lean McCaffrey, Kay Lusk, Fran McLean, Lee Dreyfus, Stetson Tinkham, and Patricia Bango. We meet on the second Monday of each month in the Residents Conference Room at 2 p.m., except for our summer break months of July and August. The meetings are attended by Barbara D'Agostino and John Ranveau, the Resident Council's liaison with our committee. And of course, Bruce Stewart, our chaplain and our quarterback. Our meetings are open to all residents, and so is the membership on our committee. We welcome all, and we're always recruiting for people to come aboard. The purpose of our committee is spelled out in a statement that is available in Unigust. Please allow me to read it to you. The purpose of the Spiritual Life Committee is to provide input and assistance to the Director of Chaplaincy Services in nurturing an inclusive spiritual community that respects residents of all faiths and those of none, while developing deeper understanding of shared values in diverse traditions and opportunities to work together for the sake of the whole human family by, point 1, communicating interests, concerns, and needs of residents to the chaplain. Point 2, encouraging supportive and inclusive spiritual and religious programs. Point 3, fostering a sense of spiritual community and belonging among residents. Point 4, advocating appropriate resources for spiritual growth and exploration. The functions of the committee include, but are not limited to, assisting in organizing spiritual activities, including but not limited to worship services, meditation sessions, study groups, and guest speakers. Point 2, providing learning opportunities for students in clinical pastoral education, seminarians, and college interns for participation in spiritual activities and pastoral programs, pastoral care during their time in our community. Point 3, recruiting volunteers to assist with regular religious services in the chapel and auditorium, and serve as greeters and ushers for memorial services. Point 4, sponsoring special presentations, events, and activities such as weekly Bible study and prayer groups, weekly Catholic Mass and Rosary, weekly Jewish Sabbath services and monthly Torah study, Muslim prayer rugs in chapel available for daily prayers, special services and events related to spiritual life, such as the Advent series, Gifts of the Magi, To Be Shavat Passover, Seder, blowing of the shohar, blessing of the animals, and other seasonal events. Also, seated meditation 2 times a week, monthly living by heart, arts and spirituality groups, and monthly knitting and crocheting meetings to donate handmade items to those in need. This charter was approved by the Residents' Council on April 2nd, 2024. To close, I would like to read a short thought piece that I had written some time ago regarding spiritual life. Spiritual life is that dimension of human experience involving our inner selves and our connection to something greater than ourselves. This could be a higher power, nature, or a sense of purpose or meaning in life. It's about seeking personal harmony, understanding, and peace. For an individual, a healthy spiritual life provides for mental and emotional well-being. Spiritual practices can reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. It can help individuals to cope better with life's challenges and enhances overall mental health. Spirituality often provides a sense of purpose and meaning, guiding individuals through life's journey with a clearer understanding of their roles and goals. It also fosters qualities like empathy, compassion, and patience that can enhance personal relationships and social interactions. For communities like ours, spiritual life strengthens the bond among community members. Shared beliefs and practices create a sense of belonging and collective identity. We can see it in the work in our support networks that aid, comfort, and guide us during tough times. We can see it in our moral and ethical climate where we value behaviors that are beneficial for our community, like kindness and social justice. We engage in practices like mindfulness, meditation to enhance self-awareness and inner peace. We have regular community gatherings for prayer, discussion, and meditation to strengthen communal bonds. We engage in acts of kindness and service to fellow residents and staff. These are practical expressions of our spiritual values as individuals and as a community. I'm thankful to being a part of this community. Let's remember to nurture this precious part of us. And our chaplain is going to be speaking with you later. And from the charter that I read to you and the activities we do, you can tell that he's a very, very busy man. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Kim is coming.
Okay, I'm gonna be quick. You know, maybe, oh, did you clap? Because I'm gonna be quick? Oh my gosh. Maybe I should probably go at the end because sometimes I can tell you all where to look for everything that they spoke about in town hall. So going to what Teresa was talking about earlier, to let you know, Merle did a new folder in administration. So if you go into Uniguest and go into administration, at the bottom, there's a new folder. Well, if I collapse it, you know, it would go straight to all the folders at one time. If I open up Town Hall, everything that happened in Town Hall today, that there's a presentation, it will be in Uniguest. So the first one was when she talked about our new additions. And then everything that she spoke about, the hollering, you can find it in Town Hall. So if you have questions, but you don't want to ask right now, or you want to go into detail and read everything that she spoke about, you can actually go into Uniguest and you can see her whole presentation. And then I'm not going to do the next one, but I'll just show you the beginning. The presentation that they will be doing on the new website is also in Uniguest, so you'll be able to see that as well. And then what Fred just spoke about, if you go into chaplaincy notes, you can look up in chaplaincy notes, collapse, go to Spiritual Life Committee, and you can get what he just spoke about, as well as seeing all their minutes from their meetings. Also, sometimes people say maybe they did not get the Gazette. I just want you all to know that you can always go into Uniguest and you can see the Gazettes every week. The Gazettes are in here along with the key, if you don't know what one of the abbreviations for. And then if you also want to see what they are talking about in Bailey's Crossroad and their West Wind, that's also in here, that you can see their West Wind, as well as the Miscellany. The Miscellany is another publication that we have here that is also in here, and you can see that as well. And the Miscellany is in here from a lot of years. If you want to go back and look at the Miscellany from years ago, look at that, May of 2004. So we kept all of the miscellanies in here. If you would like to go back and read some of the stories of some of the residents that are no longer with us, are still with us, some of the stories of where they've been, places they've gone to, amazing life stories, you can also see that. So just to let you know, just one more thing, you know how they say, if you get one person on board, all this you've done is worth it. So from last month to this month, 2 additional residents have started using Uniguest. So thank you. That's it for me.
Thanks, Kim. Bruce, if you'll come, and then Marty, you'll follow Bruce.
Good afternoon. I'm Bruce. I'm your chaplain. And thanks to Fred for that. It made me wear out just listening to all that we were doing in Spiritual Life. And we're so grateful to be able to do this all together. It's really wonderful. I've got a couple of updates for you. Let's see. O'Brien, looks like nope. There's Kim. Here I am. Okay, we have some new interns, and there are 3 different kinds of interns. Our first one, Jenny Bush, has already started. She's working full-time elsewhere, and she's exploring what it's like to be a chaplain in an adult community. She's kind of aiming in that direction. She wanted to get experience, and it's taken months for her to come in through the volunteer process because our volunteer coordinator position kept changing or was vacant. It took a long time. But she's been with us a couple weeks now, and she's here either Friday or Saturday, one day a week. Sometimes she's not here at all, but when she is here, one of the things she's doing is delivering the weekly bulletin to about 50 residents in our healthcare center, going around the building, dropping those off. And when she's not able to do it, I get to do it. So it's something that gives her contact with our residents, and as you see her wandering about, I hope you'll make contact with her. Gail Emerson is going to be our next CPE chaplain intern in clinical pastoral education. They are starting the fall semester the first week in September. So they'll be in class all day the day after Labor Day. And she won't be coming over here. She'll be coming here, I believe, on Wednesday the 3rd for her first day. and then they're in class the next Monday and Tuesday, and then she'll be with us on particular days in the week. We'll be sharing her with The View, and so I don't know which days she'll be there and which days she'll be with us. We'll find that out eventually, but that's Gail, and I want you to get to know her as well. We are so fortunate to have our CPE program, which is nationally recognized and certified and accredited and all of that. And we've just got a new, it's called Certified Educator. It's what we used to call the supervisor. And he's coming to us from a well-established program from Walter Reed Hospital. He's got a lot of experience. I think you've read the introduction that was sent out. He's taking on our program. Liz Pomerleau has moved to Arizona to be close to her parents and the rest of her family. And she landed a position as the director of a CPE program at the largest hospital in Arizona, which happens to be in Phoenix. They were without a director for a year, and she's popped into that, and she's going to be amazing. We're so grateful for her. Doreen Adams is a seminarian at Virginia Seminary, and she'll be with us for contextual ministry, which used to be called field education. And she's going to be with us for the whole fall semester, and then again for the spring semester. And she's already saying she wants to come for CPE next summer. We don't know whether there'll be a space for her at that point, but she's very interested. And there'll be profiles of these folks in the Gazette that you'll get to know them, and I hope you'll just simply walk up to them and introduce yourselves whenever you see them. They're very happy to be with us. And these are our grand totals. This is congratulations to all of you and great heaps of thanks. We had 2 major projects. One was normally enough, one major project, which is our annual back to school project. And this year we were benefiting Hammond Middle School. And we partner with a group called Communities in Schools, which is a national organization which has local chapters. And our local chapter works in schools in Northern Virginia, in Arlington and Alexandria. There may be some in Fairfax as well. And we've worked with them through Hammond, through Alexandria City High School, through John Adams Elementary School, Wakefield High School, and this year it was Hammond. And they were interested in having backpacks with school supplies. And we said, well, they were asking us for 225 or something like that. And we found it was cheaper to bundle it up with a larger amount. We said, how about 264? We get a better rate on that. And we could put in there 2 notebooks, 2 pens, 2 mechanical pencils, 2 glue sticks. And it turned out that would cost a total, all of those supplies and backpacks, about $2,000. Your giving, as you can see, went well over that. And so Communities in Schools had an additional $2,299.16 from you all to use to help with their programs. And they are just so thrilled and grateful, and I'm proud of you all. But at the same time, the world keeps falling apart in all sorts of different ways. And we had huge flooding in the Texas Hill Country. And you stepped up, and we partner with Episcopal Relief and Development in disasters of all sorts of things around the world. Every year there seems to be a fire, a flood, an earthquake, some sort of terrible thing that happens, and your hearts open up and your pockets open up. And at the same time as back to school, you were able to put together $3,170 to go for Texas flood relief. So thank you very much. One more slide. I'm going to actually take a couple days off. Woo! But in order to do that, somebody else has to come in to be here. And so Sunday the 31st, Stephen Shepard will be with us. And it turns out when I was first here as a substitute in 2006, his father was a resident here, and his dad died just about the time that I was here, and that was my first memorial service was for his father. Stephen became the assistant at St. Barnabas in Annandale, and then he was the rector at St. Dunstan's in McLean, and he's retired from that. And he's been here a few times in the past, so please welcome him, show up. You got your regular choice of 9 and 10:30. And got any questions? Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll be gone from Monday the 25th of August to Wednesday the 3rd of September. So between those 2 dates, thou shalt stay out of trouble. Okay? I didn't say don't have fun, just stay out of trouble and stay alive, okay? Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce. Oh, good. It's me. Right. Hi, I'm Marty Saddam, and I have an honorific of ambassador to Goodwin House for Encore Learning. They gave me that title, and it's pretty profound. But I'm a resident here. I've been here for about a year, a little over a year, and I've been a board member of Encore Learning for over a decade. I've been an instructor for over a decade with Encore Learning, so I know a lot about the business and what we are. There was a couple years ago, Goodwin Living struck a deal with Encore Learning, and they fund free memberships for any and all of you if you want to join. And it's worth $65. All you have to do is sign up. And there's, in here, not in this room, but in Encore Learning, Goodwin House, we have about 40 members in here, and we can have more. This is a listing of all of you. You can't see it, but you can see the yellow. The yellow highlights means they need to renew, and it's free. All you have to do is just go to the website and sign up. There is also, and I'm going to mention in the back of the room, there are handouts, and Marilee is already holding up some of these. I've got them. There's a handout here, and there's a catalog, which is here. You can take both of them or none of them, or you can take just this one, which gives you almost all the relevant information that I'll talk about in just a moment. And I'm going to be briefer than Kim was brief, okay? So because we're deep into our happy hour time, I think. So I want to be brief. All of the information that I would say is on these handouts, okay? So grab any one of them. But coming up here is our fall semester, and it's in another couple weeks that it starts, and there's a preview. We will have a preview session in one of the rooms we'll have reserved. And if you wish to join in there, I will be there to color commentate on everything that's going on. It runs a long time. We'll kind of give you an advance notice of how it might be split up so you don't have to spend 2.5 hours going through what the previews are for all the courses. But we have 41 courses, college level courses coming up in the fall, and they're variously in-person, virtual, and hybrid. Most of our in-person is done at the GMU campus, the law campus in Ballston. But then there are hybrid ones, and then hybrid could be both there and through Zoom. And then we will try to pump in some other classes as well into here. So virtual, that you can do that, and they're common for everybody. They're fun. Now the course preview is on the 4th of September. So that's the first date. It's on this folder. Registration starts on September 8th. So those are the 2 dates to think about. And registration, we'll set a room aside. I'll be in there to help anybody that wants to get help registering. And it only takes moments to do that. It's all electronic. But and then the courses begin on October. And I'm teaching one. I teach Walks with a Rambler. But there are other courses that I'm sure you'll all be interested in. I'm not going to go through those because the list of 41 is pretty intensive, but you can grab one of these and study these. I would also suggest, perhaps, if you wish, catch me anytime. Now that you know who I am, and most of you do because we've eaten together or we've visited one another, I'd be happy to just spend time with you and answer any questions that you might have. I've taken most of the courses that are been offered, or the types of courses, and I know most of the instructors as well. Okay? I was brief. Yes. Any questions? Or somebody has a question? Yes. You can register. Yes. The question is, can you register online? The answer is yes. And all that information of how you get there and so on is in the catalog as well as the flyer. And also, there is a sign-up form that Marilee has in the back, and if you need to register, you can do that, and there are instructions on how to turn that in. That's for your free membership. And if you want to turn it in, you can turn it in to, as it says in the instructions, or find me. Or send it, me, Marty Saddam. I'm a resident here, so I would be happy to get that in and get you, in the system. But again, it's a freebie. Now, courses cost $55 a head for the course. And the courses range anywhere from 4 weeks to 10 weeks. That's a pretty good deal from most college course standpoint. If you've ever taken a college course and paid $3,000 for a college course, $55 is a pretty good deal. Okay, any other questions? Okay, good. And I don't know who the next person is.
Thank you very much. So if Marty was between you and happy hour, I'm really encroaching on happy hour time. And it says 20 minutes in the agenda, and I promise it won't be 20 minutes. So okay, we're going to talk about websites. So this is a presentation to bring you all up to speed with Goodwin Living's introduction of new websites. And this slide that is here is an overview about websites in general for organizations. And I probably should have asked the question, does anyone know when our current website was developed? 2019, pre-pandemic. It is approaching the end of its shelf life. Most organizational websites last 2.5 to 5 years. And you may think, why that short a timeline? Well, there are 6 reasons identified here. There are technology advancements. Think about how much technology changes from year to year. There are design trends. The world has become much more visual, and we can do a whole lot more in terms of design than we could back in 2019. User behavior. We all have gotten conditioned to touch, it takes me here. Touch, it takes me there. A lot of convenience. Security. This is a very big one. We care a lot about security. We care about the security of the people who visit our website, and we care about Goodwin Living's security. And you must keep pace to get in front of the digital bad guys. Performance. If you think about technology 5 years ago, it didn't quite move as fast. It moves a lot faster today. And when you have an old engine, as it were, it can only go so much faster. And as I said, ours is coming up on its shelf life. And then finally, industry and competition. We know that your experience as a resident in the community is most joyful, most vibrant when you have a full community. And we want to make sure that our digital presence is doing all it can to communicate who we are, what is Goodwin Living, what is life at Goodwin Living campuses, and that it's very easy to navigate, to get information, to get in contact with someone. So these are some of the reasons why websites only last typically 2.5 to 5 years. Of course, and as you can see on the far right of the slide, Goodwin Living has changed a little bit in the last 5 years too. We went from 2 campuses to 4. We brought in rehab. We have home health. We have brain health. We have all of these options for people that we didn't have when we built the current website. So we've kind of tried to tack things on as we go, and it's served us well, though there are parts of the organization that haven't been served as well. And I want to give you an example. So if you are someone who maybe played a little too much pickleball and you had to go have surgery and you need some rehab, and you've heard that Goodwin Living has outpatient rehab over at the View, when you get to our website, you think, oh, I guess this is about moving into a retirement community. It's not about rehab, outpatient rehab. If you're someone who on your behalf or a loved one's behalf, you need hospice, you go to our website, it doesn't look like it's a hospice website. So it makes it harder for people who want to access, particularly our healthcare services, to figure out how to do that. So for those reasons, we undertook a process. It actually began in December of 2023. We put together a request for proposal. We identified firms that design and build websites. We invited about 10 or 12 different firms to submit proposals. We reviewed them. We made a decision based on who could provide the quality, the value, the budget. And then we began to invite resident input. And I want to say that we have had a group of residents from GHA and GHBC who have been with us for the duration of this. And we would send them some concepts, get feedback. You know, it was really hard. Golly, they were shy. They never gave us feedback. Really begging, please. No, I'm joking, right? So they were fantastic about giving us feedback. And they've been with us on this whole journey. So I'm going to tell you about them and who they were in just a minute. And we developed a cross-organizational management team. So we had a representative from home health, from hospice, from brain health, from each of the campus areas, from talent, from the foundation, because all parts of Goodwin Living need to be present and have a good digital presence. So that group of cross-department management and residents has been with us for now going on 1.5 years. And if you would, please give a round of applause to this group of GHA residents who have been in it for that whole time period. Thank you. Some of them are here today, some aren't. But I literally mean it's been almost a very long journey. And you might say, well, how long does it take to do all this? Well, something came up along the way. And we said, while we rebranded in June of 2022, we went from Goodwin House to Goodwin Living. When we launched that logo that you see, which represents different colors and cultures and parts of the organization, we did not develop a brand tagline. We didn't do that. And as part of this process, the firm we were working with kept saying, you really need to have, what does this brand mean? And we kind of took a cue from all of you and from our Goodwin Living at Home members. You live lives of purpose. My goodness, for the last hour and 17 minutes, we've been hearing about all the different committees, all the different activities, all the ways that you have purpose. And so in a minute, you're going to see the new tagline. So we spent some time on the tagline, and we spent some time on the design of the website architecture. So has anyone ever built an addition on a house or built a new house, or maybe you built an office? Been on a committee here where we've done some redesign? Anybody? Raise your hands. Yes, yes, yes. So there's a rule of thumb, which is you design, you refine, you design, you refine before you ever start to build. Because once you start to build, it gets really expensive. It's the same thing with a website. So this is a view of what we call our legacy website. And you see it's Goodwin Living, and it has all parts of Goodwin Living. Goodwin Living at home, stronger memory, foundation, careers. I use the analogy when talking with TVA residents, and I'm going to use one that's a holiday we're familiar with, Christmas. Has anyone ever seen a house where people just kept putting on the Christmas tree ornaments and it started to do this and tilt to one side? So our website was getting a little heavy with all of these very different things that we're trying to communicate. Someone who is contemplating moving into a retirement community is very different in what they want and need than someone who needs hospice services. And this website's been trying to do it all pretty well. However, to go forward, we needed a new architecture. Oops, sorry. Went too fast. So here's the new website architecture. And the first thing I want to say is we went from one website to 13 websites. So you may say, well, why 13? How many senior living campuses do we have? 4. How many healthcare services do we have? Brain health, home health, rehab, hospice. So you start to see in home care, and then you think about the foundation, celebrating the great work of the foundation fueled by you and other donors. And I know this is kind of dizzying, but you start to see that it buckets into 4 categories. And on the far left of the slides, you'll see Goodwin Living. That's kind of an overview website of Goodwin Living. Then there is a website for the foundation. Then there is a grouping of websites for all of our healthcare services. And then there's a grouping of websites for our campuses. So that way, if you're looking for a retirement community and you want one in Alexandria, it's going to be easy to find Goodwin House Alexandria. And it will reflect Goodwin House Alexandria. If you want one in DC in the fall when we build out the Forest Hills website, it will be easy to find that, and it will look like Forest Hills. It won't look so generic. Be a little bit more specific to each campus. So that allows the user to get what they want when they want it and not have to navigate this big cumbersome website. So I told you we had a tagline that the group helped develop, and it's powered by purpose. Because you're powered by purpose. All those activities, all those interests that you have, we at Goodwin Living are powered by purpose. And so this is the main Goodwin Living website. For those of you who know Olivia Bricky and her dear sweet dog, Baby, I'm having the same tender moment you are. We had a debate on whether or not we should list Miss Bricky. And we talked to the foundation team because Valerie Burke always has good sensibilities about these things. And we said, you know what? Once you're with us, you're with us. You're always part of our story. And so even though Ms. Bricky may not be here in person, Ms. Bricky is here in spirit, as is everyone who's been part of the Goodwin Living family. That's the landing image, but it rotates. You'll see other people. And you'll see that design where there's just a bit of copy, and then there's an image, and there's your navigation bar. And you'll see that flow. And I'm going to flip now to the landing page for the foundation website. And that's the foundation tagline. Together, we change lives. And so you start to see this layout just kind of grab your heart. This says, welcome to the foundation. And you notice that there's always an image over here, and there's that Goodwin Living logo. So that design concept is going to roll out across all of our websites and over time in all of our brochures for our campuses and our healthcare services. So we're really grateful to have gotten there. We're grateful to the resident teams at GHA and GHBC who've been with us on this journey for a long time. Thank you for your feedback. And then quickly, this is the launch schedule of the websites. Now, if you go online, you'll see the main website, the legacy website is still there. We will retire it once all the other sites are up. But this is the rollout schedule of these websites. Started with Goodwin Living, the foundation. They're up, they're live. The healthcare sites are all starting to roll out. Stronger Memory went live today. That's really exciting. And then the campuses for Virginia, and then Forest Hills of DC will come later in the fall. You will be able to link back and forth. So if you're on the foundation website, for example, and it has a link, it can take you somewhere else if you want to learn about something else. So there's a lot of internavigation, as it were. And I will say, if you see some of these sites and somehow we missed a comma or a word or something, it's highly possible. And please let us know. Send a note to Kathy Miller, who's the Director of Marketing and Communications, or me. And we'll be grateful for your input. And it's been my pleasure to share with you that we're launching these exciting new websites to tell the story of your campuses, the healthcare services, the great work of the foundation, and how people can come and join Goodwin Living as a team member and be part of uplifting our mission. And I don't know if it's appropriate to take questions. It's maybe not, because I'm between you and happy hour, so I'll call it a wrap.
Okay. Thanks, Lindsay. I will give you a quick tip for those of you that are going to happy hour. If you go out and go across the courtyard, you'll be there quicker. But I will take any questions that you have. It was, again, a lot of information that was shared. Please take the time to go on Uniguest and go to the area that you want to look at the slides that were presented today. Send questions back to us so that we can answer them. If you want to stay for questions, the team will be here. If not, happy hour. Thank you.